Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Japanu Toyzu. Today we're going to be having a look at my second Super Robot Chogokin figure, which is Might Gaine from the series Might Gaine, which is from the Brave line, which is connected to Gao. Anyway, spoiler alert, this is a really good figure. Much better than the Great Mazinger, and I like that Great Mazinger figure quite a bit. So let's get straight on and have a look at the figure now, shall we guys? Arriving right on time, Brave Express Might Gaine here in his Super Robot Chogokin form. In keeping with Bandai of Japan's usual standards, this figure has an awesome look to it. Everything about the sculpt of this figure is just high quality. It looks stunning. Standout points on the figure are obviously his train chest with the MG sculpted on there as well, which is again a nice little extra bit of detail that they didn't have to put in. And even the two trains that he has for shoulders have the windows and doors sculpted in there as well. And the head itself is really good to look at as well. It's got a fabulous paint job on it. And the head literally looks like it came right out of the anime. So let's have a look at Might Gaine's articulation, and he's got quite a lot, I'll say. We'll start off obviously with his head, which is on two ball joints, one at the top of the neck, one at the bottom, so he's super wobbly headed and can look all the way around. The head is not too wobbly, it stays in position, but you can get it in a lot of emotive expressions. The backpack here with the jump jets can move as well, a nice little feature. I like to have them out that way. The arms here are filled to the brim with joints. It's crazy. He does have the ball joint here in the shoulder, which you come to expect from Japan. But let me show you what else it can do if I can get it to work. It does work, it's just a little hard to film, so I'll need to get the light right. So we pull here, and yep, the arm does come out, so he can bend his arm inwards to his chest quite a bit more, as you can see there, which looks really good. So let's push that back. And let's show you the rest of the things here. We have a joint specifically for the train, so you can move the train up here. We have that part's obviously the ball joint, so the train, as I said, can move up and down independently on the ball joint there. We also have a joint to pull the arm out, which is okay. It is a bit of a clicky joint. I would have liked it if it was a bit of a smoother move, but you know, whatever. So you just warp it back in, not warp, but you know. We have a bicep swivel, but just below the shoulder. We actually have a one here above the forearm, which is odd, but whatever. We do have the double arm joint. We have a cut here, so it doesn't break the sculpt and looks quite nice for just that single joint. And then obviously we have the one near the top of the bicep. So you do get, again, a nice double jointed movement without it really breaking up the sculpt, which is fantastic. It looks great. We have two wrist things here to mention. We have this red part which moves. I have no idea why, it just seems to. We have a ball joint in the wrist and on the hand as well. So again, so it doesn't break the sculpt up here and here. We have the joint to move left and right, and then we can move the hand round and round. So we get a lot of movement specifically just out of the hand. It's so good. I love this. It's a really well thought out and well designed toy. The waist here, again, so we don't break the sculpt, can go left and right. Only this far. Not a huge deal, but you know, this is probably what you can do yourself without killing yourself. We can also, as I mentioned, breaking the sculpt, pull the chest up here, and now we have an ab crunch. So yeah, we can bring it all the way down like that, or you can pull it up to the sky. So it's so good about thinking, how are we not going to break the sculpt, or how are we going to give the articulation and keep the sculpt looking as good as we can. Let's move the camera down though, so we can look at this guy's groin region and his legs, because there's a lot of good stuff here as well. We have all of his skirts, which are on individual ball joints, so they can move all independent like and whatnot. Even the side ones, which can pop off but aren't too bad. The back ones also on a single on a ball joint on their own, which is cool. Let's try and show you all this leg, because there's a lot of die cast in here. The actual joint on the inside of the hip is all metal, I think you can see, and can move up and down, but is a bit fiddly to do. I might be able to do it later. The legs do go out all the way, as long as you move the skirt out of the way, of course, and looks really good. And something cool if I can get this part to work. I try to get that bit to move up and down, but we do have a twist there. And look at this for moving backwards and forwards for the leg. Really solid. We have quite a cool little design bit here for the legs. We have this part here where you move the top part of the leg. This moves down. Very Gundam model kit-esque style, I should say. And even the knee here, we pull it back. And then we get this part to fill in the gap that would have been left there otherwise. Again, so smart and so considerate in what the articulation is doing and not taking away from the actual toy itself. It's crazy. Oh, there it goes. It almost popped off there, as I mentioned, but there you go. The leg here can move up and down, just like that. Not really a lot left and right, but it can twist a little bit to the side for a little tilt. What we can do is pull it down, and we've got even more range. You can see just the difference in the height and how much more you get just from moving this up and down. You get a little bit to the left and right, but not a lot. And then a huge amount of ankle tilting. So good. So very smart, this toy. And it's so easy to pose this and make it look great. This is far and beyond better than the Super Robot Chogokin Great Mazinger that I looked at before. This is just such a playable toy. It's beautiful. He is, of course, a Japanese toy, so he does come with a lot of accessories. The first two things he has are two holdy things hands, so he can hold stuff. He has two open hand battle-ready hands, which are always useful for those dramatic poses you put him in. He has one pointy finger hand, apparently for saluting or something like that. He even comes with another face. And you may wonder how to change this face. Well, we have Might Gaine here, and here is the other head where the cockpit is. I think that's what it's meant to do. We pull off his hat, because that's a hat it seems. And what we can do is, all we have to do really is pop that off and pop this one back on. So we'll take Might Gaine away, pop his head off. So, you know, that's his ball joint there. Just so you can have a look at the process, and we take him away and we pop his head on, and there we go. The cockpit revealed under the mouth guard of Might Gaine, and we'll put his little hat back on because it is just a two-peg deal, I should say. And then boom, there you go. I think this is meant to emulate the last episode of Might Gaine, but I'm not entirely sure. Even though he looks like he's angry and he's roaring at you because he's all mad and wanting to slice up some evil justice and whatnot. We have this handle where you can add two swords onto, which is kind of cool. We also have these two spare wings for the side of the helmet just in case they break. Good idea. And here is the Dorinkin, I think is how you say it. His main sword, I think. Not seen the anime, but it's really well detailed. Quite nice. Not amazing, but what you can do is you can pop off the handle. And I'll explain why later on. And it just simply pops on if you can get peg into slot. We have two of the finisher Dorinkins, I think they are. And these, again, are quite nice, especially when you compare it to its smaller counterpart. It's quite cool. Something to note is the handle here has opened up and has a really nice little design in there. Very nice, very good little bits of detail. And now we have the, I don't know, huge anime-styled version of the Dorinkin finisher version, which is just like crazy anime proportion sword, as you can see. Like, this is the normal one, that's the anime one. It's like, wow, guys. It's even got a much bigger handle as well. It's kind of crazy, but what you can do is you can get any of the other handles, the spare one, and I don't know, make the Dorinkin and have the normal version and the giant anime version together and completely break how the anime works. But that's how Andy works. He breaks the rules of logic, but really you meant to use these two versions of the Dorinkin and put one on the top and one on the bottom. I'm sure I will have some shots of that later on in the video, so you can have a look at that. One thing to mention before I finish is the handle for this sword, because this sword is so heavy, it's not going to do it here, of course, but it can be a little bit loose and can fall out just a tad every now and again, so something to be aware of. I feel that this is an amazing figure. It's super poseable, it's got a lot of accessories, it's got a good amount of die cast in there as well, and the sculpt is so nice. If you're a fan of super robots, or just robots, I really must recommend this. It's just so much fun to play with. And if you've never tried anything out of Japan before, it's a great stepping on point just to see how good they can make stuff there. And if you're interested in where you can get this figure for a good price, why not head over to Big Bad Toy Store and pick it up from them? Do it. Do the good deed for Andy. Anyway guys, thanks very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you next time for another video of some description. Who knows what it will be, because I don't. Catch you later guys.